It's a good evening and warm welcome to another edition of the North Bank Summit. Enjoy your weekend, did you? Enjoy watching England on a Thursday night against Wales, where there was a flat atmosphere, and Thomas Tuchel moaning about the atmosphere. What did he expect, on a Thursday night against Wales at home? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But anyway, we're gonna try and digest from international football, even though there is a game tomorrow, and look ahead to obviously the next couple of weeks where games are going to come thick and fast. Lots of tournaments we're going to be playing in, the Premier League, the Champions League, the Carabao Cup. So there's loads to cover off tonight, and we are going to do some Q&A throughout the show. So please, guys, get your questions ready. Any questions that come in, we will answer them throughout the night. If you've got anyone directly that you want to answer to as well, make sure you put that in the chat. But before we start and before we begin and before I welcome the chat, just going to give a warm welcome to my two sexy guests. Firstly, good evening to Andy. How's your weekend been, mate?
Yeah, weekend's been fine. Yeah, as ever with an international fixture, so it's a crap weekend. Having said that, they played pretty well, to be honest, especially first half. So actually, it wasn't that bad. But just can't wait now for next weekend to come along.
Yeah, some big games coming up, isn't there? Some absolute big games, and top of the league at the moment. Going into Saturday's game. Then we got the Champions League where we won 2 out of 2, so loads of things to be optimistic about, and already through to the next round of the Carabao Cup, and we've got Brighton after the Crystal Palace game. So going to go and welcome you, John. Are you looking forward to the weeks ahead?
Yeah, it can't be any fucking worse than this weekend, can it? It's boring. Even yesterday was fitting for the challenge. There's just no sport at all. It's just dreadful. It's so boring. Yeah, no, I even watched a bit of the Scotland game yesterday, and that was just terrible. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. We'll probably be moaning come 7 o'clock Saturday night if we lost to Fulham. But yeah, as you said, the game's coming thick and fast, and I had a result over the weekend. I managed to get myself a ticket for the Atletico Madrid game next Tuesday.
Oh,
so
you lucky man.
Very much looking forward to that. And as it happens, I'm off next week as well. So yeah, I'm very happy.
A few cheeky beers for Brooksy then.
Yeah, definitely, yes. Kobe's already up for it as well.
Well, just let you know, I'm doing a half day that day as well.
Ah, go on, son. There we go.
But yeah. Anyway, we'll digest and move onwards and upwards. As we said, that no Premier League games this weekend. I'll be honest with you, it's been a weekend where it's like from the back end of last weekend, I'm just thinking I've got to get through this miserable weekend. I've got to get through it, get out the other side. And actually, I feel a lot more motivated today than I've got through Saturday and Sunday. But we've got through Saturday and Sunday. We are now looking ahead to, obviously, the big game on Saturday. Fulham away at 5:30. Obviously, the news come out, Andy, that Martin Odegaard's going to be out until at least the November break. I'm going to be totally honest, I think there's a lot of flapping around this situation from a lot of accounts when I was reading about it today, because actually we pretty much played with him without him most of the season so far, and we're sitting top of the league. So even though it is a big blow and it is something that we didn't want to happen, and we wanted him back in the team, I'm more than positive with the players we got in this squad at the moment that we're well equipped, and looking at the fixture list, especially the Premier League games, that we should be confident that we can keep our winning run at the moment and continue to perform at the best standard and try and stay at the top of the league.
Yeah, it's really important to remember as well that going into these games, and it's all well and good that we can look at fixtures and we think, oh, this is a nice little run, but you have to remember these teams, when they come up against us, it's always to them a little cup final. So Fulham's a slippy ground for us. We've been there in the last few years, and we've had a tough time there. But ultimately, I believe the squad that we have now is a different beast to anything that's gone there over the last few years. And I'd like to think we can just go there and roll over them.
Got the first question tonight, Andy. I'm going to throw it to you, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because you were talking. Shane Curtin, saying, hi, lads. Is Timber's best right back in years? Best right back in years that we've had. Do we cash in on Ben White now, potentially, maybe at the end of the season?
Yeah, I could see that happening. Julian Timber's come in, and I think everyone's been astounded by his standards. And we've got an absolute worldie there at fullback. He's literally the full package. And especially, and don't forget, he's come back from a horrendous injury. And he's just been a revelation, the guy, which has been tough for Ben White because he's been great for us over the last few years. But if you want to go on and succeed, there's always better players. And if you can improve in positions, there's going to be people that are going to be a little bit upset and pushed out. And I think that's the case now with Ben. And it might well be that he gets sold in January transfer window. Maybe it's not so much that one, but maybe it's the end of the season, sorry. Because ultimately he wants first team football, doesn't he? You know, he's not getting any younger now. So, yeah, quite right. But ultimately, it is what it is. Timber's class.
Yeah, like you say, we're coming into the best years, but also Ben at 28 years old, I can't see being happy sitting on the bench, John. Probably we'll see him for the end of this season, and then potentially could be a sow in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, as well, he started picking up niggly little injuries as well, isn't he? So, yeah, I mean, he'll leave as a title winner, so there'll be a few more quid in the bank. Yeah, Tim was unbelievable. I see a few clips of him playing for Holland. He was playing centre half, and he was just comfortably above Van Dijk. He's just ridiculous. Again, £35 million. It's an absolute steal. He's an unbelievable player.
Yeah, he's a good find.
Yeah, an absolute good find. Andrew just saying Ben White is a great player, so it would be sad to see him go. Barwick saying Timber has more pace, which I like in a fullback. And Andrew also saying Fulham and Palace tough games, not to be underestimated. And just saying that, and just going on to Andrew's question, a good point raised there, because actually, last season alone, these next 2 Premier League games, we only picked up 2 points out of 6 out of these corresponding games, John.
Yeah, Fulham have been a funny old team in the last few years. Remember, we drew at home with them with 10 men. Remember, Polina scored, and we lost. Did we lose like 3-1 to Fulham? Like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or something? Saka scored early on, then we fell apart. Last year, we drew 1-1 with them. Saka scored at the end. They got ruled out of VAR because Martinelli was offside. Yeah, Fulham are a funny team. They always play well against us. I don't know what it is. They always seem to raise their game. I mean, you know, we have so many London derbies. You did fancy us this time. But yeah, Palace as well. I mean, they're playing unbelievable. I mean, their bubble might have burst a little bit away to Everton. But yeah, it'd be interesting because obviously, well, it looks like Eze is going to be starting centre mid now. So he'll be out to prove a point, you would like to think.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
good point, Ray.
These are the games that like the West Ham at home and the Man United away, the Newcastle away. These are the games we kept slipping up last year. So we just need to, if we can turn on those negatives from last year into positives this year, we're on our way.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously going into Saturday's game, at the moment, nothing to report, Andy, in terms of injuries. Which
don't say
touch wood. I've got a big chunk here, so actually, hopefully, will be hopefully that'll be the case. But how important is it, Andy, that at the moment we keep that structure to that side? Because actually it's probably the first time, isn't it, a long time, I know, buying Odegaard and obviously Havertz, that we've actually got a core now, haven't we? And we've got a core when we can rotate the team as well. And when I see something the other day where I see Arsenal's defensive 11 with all their defensive players, and then their attacking 11. And when I looked at it, I was like, actually, this squad is absolutely massive in terms of what the talent we've got and the strength and depth we've got. That literally every position's probably nearly covered by 3 players in each position now.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. I mean, it just goes back to that summer, getting Berta in, and he's come in with a remit, and it appears that he's just blown that away. To think of that we could be in a position now with the squad that we have. If someone had said that to us in the summer, we'd be like, "You're joking!" Like, there's no way we can get them players in, that many as well. So no, it's on the back of that summer, and I'm sure Arteta had a list of people that he wanted in the club, and I'm pretty sure it's been backed up completely this time. So yeah, there's just, as we've said before, there's no excuses now.
Definitely. Another question from Shane. Going to throw this one at you, John. Who is the 3 best players signed under Arteta? Shane's going for Gabriel, Timber, and Raya.
Declan Rice. Definitely number 1. Gabriel, yeah, and Saliba. Did they both come in? Yeah.
Saliba was signed under a different
Emery, wasn't it?
Yeah. What are you going for, Andy?
Yeah, it's a good call. Declan Rice, without a shadow of a doubt. I think with the other two, it's difficult to disagree with them, isn't it? Gabriel and Timber. Ray's been brilliant, but Rice has to be in that 3 for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for 100% Gabriel. I think absolute elite signing. Timber, from the very first game I see him live, said the guy was world class. God, do not change my opinion on that whatsoever. I think he's absolutely superb. And I'm going to have to go Declan Rice as well. I just think actually the engine that he provides and what he's done, especially when you look at those 2 Real Madrid games, the guy's world class, isn't he? When you like, this is the thing about
stepped up a level as well that we can really notice.
You talk about world class when you step up a level, but you don't just do it at home. You go away in the Bernabeu and even back up that performance with the rear guard performance they put in that night. So for me, that would be my top 3.
Yeah,
for England the other night, he was excellent for England the other night. As England captain, he proper stepped up.
Yeah.
Obviously, guys, obviously feel free to whack your questions in. We're going to answer as many questions as we can tonight to kind of mix it up the show and all that. So it'd be good to answer any questions. But one thing I will say, as always, keep it clean.
No, let it be as dirty as I want. Okay.
We're not.
He was talking to you, John.
John Brooks there.
Yeah. He knows me too well, Andy.
I'm getting Andy's resignation in the post.
I know, yeah. I'm just in the middle of typing it now.
Wait till 9 o'clock, mate. It's all coming out.
Just got to sign it and I'm done.
Obviously, I'll tell you what is interesting. Now, let's have a chat about Raya, because I don't think we really spoke about him that much this season. Because obviously, we're probably looking at all the signings that have come in. But just going to go to you, John, on this one. David Raya, how good's he been at the start of the season?
Yeah, he's been excellent. I mean, I don't think he really gets the full credit he deserves. It's sad. I mean, I'm guilty of doing it as well, but. And I think you have a few times him. He makes so many good saves, but we always criticise him for his silly little. He just sometimes has a little scary moment in him, and sometimes he's caught a bit off guard, a bit further up the pitch, and sometimes he do a bit silly, like that time at Tottenham, where he just smacked the ball to them, and so you always worry that he's got that in the locker. But the last few years, he's won the Golden Glove. And there isn't really many other goalkeepers in the country, probably even Europe. But I'm amazed he's not Spain's number 1 as well, by the way. But he's been terrific. You know, his shot stopping, some of his saves, his reflexes, that point blank ranges are incredible. I mean, his highlight reel is saved as something else. And he's quite not imposing, if you will, but the reporters of the defence, how they work as a unit. They obviously clearly love him and trust him so much. And he's a fantastic goalkeeper. Great with his feet. Yeah, I said I wasn't scoring for no one. So
I tell you what, John, he's even better than what I thought as well. If he's won a Golden Globe, what film was that in? A gold.
Golden Glove. No, what's the old when he wins a clean sheet thing? Isn't that a Golden Glove? What's it called?
Oh, was it the
Golden Boot?
I thought you said the Golden Globe.
Oh no, well you can win that as well.
It's a daft accent. No, but
yeah. Bit rich coming from you.
No, John's absolutely right, mind. He has. I know last season, Liam, you had your doubts creeping in there.
Yeah.
He has been signed for a particular reason, and the way that he plays is high risk. That's how we play out from the back. So you are going to get the odd calamity, which may well end up in the back of our net. But 98% of it is just his use of the ball in the system that we have is unbelievable. And not only that, when you back it up with like what John said, with his ability to pull these remarkable saves off, then no, he's a special keeper, special talent, and we need to look after him.
We definitely do need to look after him. As I said, like I criticised him quite heavily at one point last year because
you did.
I felt he was getting complacent, but I do think as well, looking back on that, I don't go back on them comments. But what I would say is that actually, now he's got that rear guard in front of him, I think we're seeing the best of him. Do you know what I mean? And it is a tender position, isn't it, a goalkeeper? Because actually, when you lose a component, the person who's going to be exposed most is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I think that, and now we're seeing Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, and Calafiori in front of him. I think he's getting confidence back in himself as well. And it's just about him making the right decisions at the right times. Look, goalkeepers are going to make wrong decisions. Goalkeepers are going to make mistakes. You're not a goalkeeper if you don't. There's not one goalkeeper in the world that has never made a mistake. Do you know what I mean? Because that's part and parcel of the game. But I am seeing a different him again. I'm seeing him back to what he was at the start of last season. But I'm seeing it better, if I'm being totally honest. I feel this season, actually, he's got more authority in the team now. Where I felt last year he was just growing into the team as such. After that first season, which we're being totally honest here, the first season was very tricky for him with the Ramsdale situation.
Yeah,
it was a very, very tricky situation. I always remember going back to that Man City game, and I felt that performance in that first half was because of the situation he was in. Where actually, I feel now that he's becoming a bit of a leader in a way, if I'm being totally honest. In terms of, and he's reminding me a little bit more and more each game now, like Seaman used to be. Do you know what I mean? Just assuring him, claiming the crosses, taking the pressure off the back four at certain parts of the game, especially things like corner kicks and that kind of stuff. So I have seen a better him than I actually think at the start of last season. I think the start of last season he pulled off so many spectacular saves. Where I feel this year he's pulled off that one against Olympiacos, but it's his all-round game and decision making that's kind of flickered my eye a little bit and thinking, do you know what? Actually, he's coming into his own again.
Yeah, could you imagine being a goalkeeper? You know, you got the ball at your feet, and then you've got that wall of giants in front of you. Every one of them know can play. You got your midfielders dropping into pockets of spaces and stuff, and then, you know, and they're all quality players in front of him. That's got to give you confidence. He's got his first full season out of the way now, and he does. It does definitely feel like he's got that bit more authority. It's his decision making on crossing as well. He's a phenomenal puncher, but he will catch the ball at every opportunity, because it sometimes drives me mad when keepers just go and punch balls for fun. He seems to make the right decisions at the right times, and if you watch him, and he's always talking to the people in front of him as well. So that relationship has got stronger and stronger. So yeah, it can only bode well for us. And for me, right now, him and Alisson are the two best keepers in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I got a question from AD12K. I'm going to go to you with this one, Andy. Enjoying the discussion, lads. What could stop us from winning the league this year, from your point of view?
An injury crisis. Declan Rice getting a really bad injury and being out for much of the season would be a huge loss.
Yeah.
Aside from that, because of the squad that we've got, I really can't see. I can't see any other way that we're going to struggle. I really believe that we're going to. Hopefully, I really believe that we're going to just go on and claim the championship this year. I really do. I think it's going to be ours for the taking. But barring an injury crisis, the key players again. If you look at the spine of the team, you don't want Ria getting injured, even though we've got a good replacement. He's not as good. You don't want Gabriel or Saliba getting injured. I know people can come in, but not as good. You don't want Declan Rice. You certainly don't want Zubimendi injured now either.
No,
so your spine of the team,
yeah.
you know, that's that area there. But aside from that, that's nothing but positive for me, to be honest, with how we're looking at the moment.
Just going to go to you, John. I don't know to ask you the second question as it goes from Catherine. I'm going to ask you. I might ask you both as it goes.
I can imagine. Probably.
Do we get to see these questions before you ask us?
Sadly not, because she sent me these ones.
She's got eyes.
I've heard about
these earlier on. And
sorry, Catherine, I'm married. There you go. Is that your question?
I'm more interested in the second question, but we'll do the first question first. John, what's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you at a game?
To be fair, I don't believe much else, to be fair. It's normally out in the pub afterwards, embarrassing.
What, when he's... Is that question for like when John's playing in a match?
Under the hat. Pardon?
Yeah, but... yeah, no, a game. No.
What, a game that you've played in or a game that you've watched?
A game he's watched.
Well, presume a game that I've watched.
No, a game you've watched.
Yeah. Yeah, no, to be fair, I have a really boring answer, but I can't think of anything at the top of my head. I don't think I've fallen over much. I don't think a ball's hit me in the face. Yeah.
That'd be nice. What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you at work? Now, that's the one that would probably make me more interested.
Oh,
here we go.
Oh, God.
Well, being a postman, the worry is if you haven't got a van and you're going out of a trolley and you've had a curry the night before and then you realise that you've got a code brown situation and you need to go for, the number 2. I had my arse out in a bush and I already thought I was going to go. And I thought, no, I shamed myself into it because it would have gone everywhere. And yeah, luckily the driver came and picked me up, took me home, had a poo and carried on.
Well, John, that's,
Yeah.
thanks for that shit.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to go to you, Andy.
Nothing but honesty. There you go.
Yeah, good.
I've got an embarrassing one. It wasn't when I was playing football, but I was an assistant manager at Dragons Health Club in Brentwood in Essex, actually. And we'd opened and we had some disabled bays that were just outside of the front doors. And there was a car that continually parked in this disabled bay. And then this lady used to come out with the kids and come in and just, for me, I was watching from the outside looking in and thought, look at her, what an attitude problem she's got. Just comes waltzing in. So the receptionist never pulled her. So next time she came in, I thought, as the assistant manager, I'm going to make a stand here. So she came in, this lady, again, parks in that bay, walked in, and I very politely went up to the reception desk and said, excuse me, like I've seen you time and time again parking in this bay. You don't display a disabled badge. Would you mind moving that for other people to come in? And at that point, she just looked at me and twitched, and she took her arm off and held her arm up, and she went, "Is that disabled enough?" And you know what? It was absolute. She was absolutely brilliant about it as well. And she actually
handy.
You know what? She actually thanked me in the end because she said,
Poor.
Yeah, it was a bit shit like, but actually she thanked me in the end because she said, as a disabled person, there's nothing more infuriating than people parking in their spaces. But I did tell her to put a blue badge in next time.
Oh, man,
yeah. Well done, mate. Well done. Yeah. It wasn't all your fault. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. So there you go, Catherine.
How about you, Liam? Come on.
I'm like you at a football match. I don't really think I remember like the Arsenal Brighton game back in 2023, 5 days before my wedding. They done an Arsenal stag do for me, didn't they? And I went in dressed up with a Jonathan Morley t-shirt on, which was quite humiliating. But I went in with a bright pink fizz and everything, and I had to go in and watch the whole game with it, which was quite highly amusing.
Yeah.
Well, some people said it's the best you look, to be honest.
Probably weren't far wrong, mate, to be fair.
About that, Liam looks smart today.
But in my line of work, obviously I work from home, and I'll tell you the most embarrassing thing is when I remember one morning, and I was lucky I didn't get caught. So the phone went, and literally I've just run out the bathroom, got no shirt on, answered the call. Because usually when you answer the call, there's no camera, is there? But my camera was on.
Oh no.
What a treat.
Oh, mate. But luckily, for whatever reason, I just caught it just in time before it tricked in.
But you caught what?
Pardon?
You caught what just in time?
I caught out that the camera was on just in time as it's about to go on. And I just
as you're about to expose himself.
And all you can see was just literally my room.
Where's he up to with this?
And they're going, you there, Liam? I just literally whacked it on camera, and I took my camera off, and I was just like, God, that could have been a bit of an embarrassing one, couldn't it, really?
Yeah.
That's your scares when you're working from home, from home environment.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, and there's a question answered from obviously Catherine. Just go back onto the football now. So yeah, we spoke about Ray and obviously how good he's been. But it's going to be a big week, isn't it? A big weekend for Gulchrist. Really need to get him to a goal ideally on Saturday. I think personally he's put a shift in over the last few weeks, and I think he's got some unfair criticism. I think he's been involved in a couple of goals. Be it not score. As I said last week, I don't think it really mattered any difference if he took the penalty or Saka took the penalty. Gulchrist just needs a run of games where he scores in a run of games for me. Just going to go to you on this one first, John. Have you been happy with what you've seen from Gulchrist so far?
Yes and no. It has been a mixed bag. I mean, I think a lot of people were expecting him to hit the ground running because he played in England a few years ago, which, it's a bit different. He hasn't played in the top league. The pressure that's on him because he's at Arsenal is ridiculous. And like I said, other players, your Isaacs and your Florian Wirtzes and that, are doing nothing. Then, well, Wirtz hasn't even got an assist or a goal, and no one's saying nothing. But because Kukuris is at Arsenal, he's getting all the grief. But Newcastle game, I thought it was a coming of age game for him, which is a bit silly because I know he's already scored goals before that. But I thought the whole performance, just the way he put himself about against the Newcastle back line, and they were just trying to bully him, and he wasn't having it, and he just bounces off defenders. He's been unlucky, like Olympiacos. He was unlucky not to score. He's had a few chances where he's kind of snatched at him a bit. So he does need a goal, but he is doing a job, and you can see he's creating so much space now for the midfield and the wingers when he's dropping off there. Everyone's running in behind him. So that obviously really helps. And he'll get goals, let's be honest. We create some. I mean, the team is still working out how to use him as well. Because obviously with Lisbon, the team is over there playing such a high line. Obviously, they don't do that much against us. So it's a bit of a learning curve for everyone. But he'll score goals. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. He will score goals. He is a born striker, isn't he? And he's got a record of doing it. Just going to go to you, Andy, on it because I think this could be the coming of time for him over the next few weeks. And I'll tell you the reason why I think it. Saka is coming back to his best, I'd say already. I think you see that in that strike against Wales the other day, where he cut in and buried it. And we've seen it from Saka before, haven't we? When he jinks in like that and puts them dink balls in. I think once he starts being able to do that during games, and we start seeing a more fitter Saka who's playing more and more games, I honestly think Gyökeres will feast off Saka because Saka's delivery from that right hand side is elite. Let's be honest, it is elite, and we've seen so many times Saka distribution change games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then. The best thing about the Saka situation right now is that he's not only fit, but he's got his sharpness back. Because I think that's what was kind of missing for a spell. He just didn't have that little sharp spark. But the more games he's playing, and that goal he scored through the week will be massive for him. As for Gyökeres, yeah, just to echo what John said in his case, I felt a bit sorry for him in as much as that he's come into a brand new club with different players around you, a different system that he's played before. And I think that guy, honestly, I think he's been a revelation for us. For the first time now, he can push centre backs back. He doesn't get bullied. His link up play is improving, and I think it was the last game as well when he's been like a toe's length away from just knocking a ball into an empty net. They'll start soon to fall. They'll soon fall, and he'll go on a streak scoring. I've got absolutely no doubts. I think like everybody, because we see the shift that he puts in, we're all desperate for him to get his goal and get going again. Because I really believe if he can just get one more now, with all the games that are coming up, he might just go on a little run, which will be massive for us.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Just got another question for you, Andy. What's next for us if we're not able to win the Premier League or Champions League? And could the FA Cup and League Cup be enough to quench our trophy first?
No. No, I don't know. I'd like to win a trophy without a shadow of a doubt, but I think with the squad that we have right now, we should be looking at the Premier League and the Champions League, and anything other than that is a disappointment. Would it be disappointing if we won a cup? Maybe it's not, but it would be, for me, it would be a disappointing season because we are now in a position where we should be challenging for the two biggies, and we've got a hell of a chance now.
And if there's a previous player you could add as a coach at Arsenal, who would it be? For Andrew, he'd like to see Santi Cazorla come in.
Yeah, I mean, an absolute magician, wasn't he? It's a good question, actually. Who would I think of as like an ex-player coming in? That's a good question, that. You might have to give me 10, 15 seconds.
Dennis Bergkamp.
There you go, Liam.
There you go.
There you go, Andrew.
Oh, John ain't messing around. The best technical player ever played for Arsenal Football Club. He just throws out like he's just dropped it in there.
Yeah, why not?
That's the end of the show for John. He's going to go off now.
No.
I'll be totally honest. I'm pretty much like Andrew. I like to see Santi Cazorla in there.
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what I think he's got? He's got so much qualities, but I always remember back in the day when he was at Arsenal. I think he lifts a good. I think he gives off a good spirit and lifts off a good spirit as well. Do you know what I mean? He was such a funny person to have around the club, weren't he? And I think sometimes like just them kind of people alone can bring so much to a squad. And let's be honest, technically wise, he's one of the best players that I think we've seen in the Emirates era. For me, I would like to see Santi Cazorla, especially he had a good relationship with Arteta as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the same reasons, I think someone like Patrick Vieira could be amazing. You know, somebody who's won World Cups, you know, he's won the Premier League. Players with that sort of experience and people who love the club. Yeah, someone like him would be phenomenal around the place. I'd like to see him in.
Good evening to a couple of other guys that are in the chat. Good evening to Anthony, Oyo Sabloy, everyone in the chat this evening. Good evening.
Anthony's chirpy.
Yeah, he's very chirpy. Good evening, Jeff. Got any questions, guys? Any questions you want to ask? Throw them in the chat. We're more than happy to kind of answer them as well.
Evening, Jeff.
Yeah, this obviously look in terms of that left-hand side at the moment. So it's looking like Eze will start in the centre over the next few games. Hopefully, that's what I want to see. Maybe we'll see a little bit of adjustment in terms of midfield. But Trossard's kind of had three games now. I think it's a big time for him, and I think he's another player that's gone under the radar a little bit that actually needs a goal and a big goal to kind of obviously set him off. He's done it a few times at the bench, but obviously different story, isn't it, when he's starting, John? Would you start him Saturday?
No, that's not being mean. Yeah, he is a good player. He is a very good player. He's very skillful. He's a good impact player. I just don't know. I just think sometimes as he starts games, the game just seems to drift past him a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think Martinelli deserves more of a start at the moment, just because he's really got on with it, and yeah, he's come on and changed the games. I mean, so is Trossard as well. To be fair, when he's come on, I just think he's more of an impact player. I mean, yeah, I'll be interested to see what it does do. I mean, I will throw out a little curveball actually, because in the Newcastle game, when he come on, he actually played on the left wing, and he actually did really well in the 10-minute cameo. Lewis Skelly, he actually come on the wing, and I thought he actually did really well. I mean, I can't see it, but that's another option. But he does trust Trossard at the moment, and he does seem to be his little go-to person at the moment.
I think it's a tough one, isn't it, Liam? If you think about it as well, I think we've said before that we truly believe that both players are best as impact substitutes. Martinelli over 90 minutes generally disappoints. Trossard over 90 minutes generally disappoints. Fetch him on as substitutes with 20 minutes to go, the game changes. So it's almost, for me personally, it's almost a flip of the coin between them two about who starts. Almost a flip of the coin. In fairness, I'd probably edge for Martinelli because he must be dying to get going again. He's got 2 huge goals recently. His confidence is sky high. He'd be probably the one I'd be saying I'll give him the nod, and because we all know that he'll put a shift in.
Is
no matter
Trossard
how he
playing tonight? Because I know Belgium.
He's up front. He's playing up front for Belgium. Yeah.
Are they still winning? Because they were 2-1 up.
Yeah, it's still 2-1. Yeah.
That's good.
I think what Trossard does do, I like to play a bit devil's advocate here. You know me, John. But I think what Trossard does offer that I think maybe Arteta likes is that balance where actually, if Eze does go out wide, Trossard can go into that role where actually Eze is, and I think they can interchange in them roles as well. Where I think he'll probably feel that Martinelli is pretty much like standard, will be out on the left, and I'm just not sure if he trusts both Eze and Martinelli to be on that left-hand side together. I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
I think Trossard's got more experience than he's got more know-how. Although Martinelli does work hard defensively, he does track back. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when Eric could well play out there for we know he's due a start. Again, it's nice to have the options. Yeah. If we don't know, then Fulham don't know, so
interesting question for you, John. If we win all 6 games without Odegaard and play really well, do we think he could lose his spot in the starting 11?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's why he's been brought in, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And we said it before. I mean, there's been long spells when Martin Odegaard, as much as I love the guy, over the last two and a bit seasons, he's been, let's be honest, pretty average. So yes, his place is up for grabs at the moment, and if Eze can be the one that steps into that position, and then we bring in, Madueke gets himself fit, and we've got a left side flying, it might well be that Odegaard has to step aside. Captain or not.
Jeff not agreeing.
Havertz is due back as well.
Jeff not agreeing. He's saying Odegaard on form is untouchable.
What form?
My personal opinion.
What form, Jeff? Can you back that up?
I think when he's on form.
What form?
Yeah.
I think my personal opinion is I think this all depends now as a goes in the next 5-6 games, because we did see Eze and Odegaard in those two positions against West Ham, but that ain't going to be something you're going to see game in, game out. You won't get away with seeing that game in, game out in this league, in my opinion. So if Eze goes and bangs 4 or 5 goals in from that position over the next coming 7-8 games, or goal contributions is quite high, I think there's a good chance that Odegaard won't get straight back in, and rightly so. But this is the bit now, right? This is the bit where, as fans, we all moan when we don't have another option, but then when we have another option, we're like, well, he can't be dropped, well, he can't be dropped, well, he can't be dropped. Well, actually, anyone can be dropped. If they're not in form,
everyone's
and they're not performing well, they need to be dropped, because actually, this is the way that the squad's just going to get better and better and better, is when they're fighting for each other. And them going into training each day now, I bet the competitive is much higher than what it was last year, because actually there's a squad of players there that want to play in that starting 11, that want to be in that starting 11, and they need to prove each week in, week out, not just on the pitch, but in training, the application of performing, whether it's in a match day, whether it's in a training session, whether it's turning up on time, that kind of stuff. Like, Arteta's got the squad to where he wants to get to now. Like, we had a squad back in 2020 that the skipper used to turn up late for games. He turned up for a North London derby late. And fair play to Arteta, he dropped him. But we're in a situation now where actually no one get away with doing that, because actually there's a squad of players that are more than capable of obviously stepping into any position and taking anyone's place. And I think that he don't get enough credit, Arteta, for that starting period over 2020, 2021. He gets a lot of criticism because of that bad run he had. But do you know what? He had to instill that discipline at that point. If he didn't instill that discipline at that point, he wouldn't be where he was today. So for me, it's not about just performing on the pitch now. It's about everything you do, for how you behave in this club. And I personally think, I don't know about you, John, I feel now that we're actually one player away from being near to a complete squad. Like, I think once we get that left player in, I think there's still a position there for someone to come in on that left-hand side. I think this squad's pretty complete.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I mean, another striker, possibly. I mean, another striker and another winger, and we'd be pretty much unstoppable. Yeah, it's the winger on the left-hand side. There's, Madueke could play there, possible. But if you're looking for a world, but I'm sure fair, I don't know who. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't even think of any top quality. But left side of wingers off the top of my head, I'm sure people will be screaming at me now. But I mean, there's got to be someone out there. I mean, the good thing is, obviously, next year you've got the World Cup in the summer, and there's always a couple of players that come out of there.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. The whole team is more or less, like I said, I would say 10 split themselves, more or less. You could argue 1 or 2, but if we all pick the start 11, at least 9, if not 10, would be the same. And then it's just that left, there'll be about 3 or 4 different names, probably.
Obviously, one of the
not far off.
No, and one of the key names that keeps popping up is the Bournemouth lad, Semyon, who's obviously performing really well. Is that someone you'd like to see come in?
All day long.
What did you just call him, Liam?
Yeah, I know that. I think that must be his long lost cousin.
John, did you just call him?
Semenyo.
I'm not
Yeah.
going back. I'm not going
Did you
back.
say Semyon?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
did say that, didn't I?
Semenyo.
Let's
Yeah,
just stick with
Semenyo.
Semenyo.
No, I said
Yeah.
Semenion.
I was just going to
Semyon.
let it slide, Andy.
Dear God.
You can,
It's been a long day, mate. It's been a long day.
Yeah, you must be really missing your wife.
Won't go that far. I only concentrate on Arsenal players. But yeah, is he someone that you think that could move Arsenal to the next stage?
No, yeah, I mean, he scored twice at Liverpool, so yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a good player, and he's gone through some, shit as well. Let's be honest, and he's stood tall and got better and better.
Yeah,
you listen to his interviews and that, he's got something about him. Like I said, he's gone through some real horrible abuse, and he's just risen above it and cracked on. Yeah, he's a good player. He's scored some good goals as well. He's very powerful. He's not massive, but he's very quick. Yeah, tricky little winger. Yeah, that's what we need. Someone like that to complement Saka on the other side. But yeah, all day long. And I'm sure if we said we wanted him, he would come. Let's not be big-headed. It's just the truth for top. So yeah, if we got him in January, mate, I mean that'd be similar in some ways to when we signed Reyes in January, and he kicked on, added the squad, scored some very vital goals, and that could well be the sort of thing we need in January, just to give us a little boost, just to get stronger and stronger, really. But yeah, good player, really good player.
Very good player, very very good player, and I think the interesting thing is, could you imagine him and Eze, kind of interchanging? That would be something else, wouldn't it? But
scary, mate. Scary.
Yeah. Got another question. I'm going to go over to you on this one, John. Is adding only 10,000 seats in a stadium and moving to Wembley worth the squeeze with 100,000 people on the waiting list for season tickets?
Well, they've got to do something. I mean, speaking as a silver member, it's a joke trying to get a ticket in the ballot, to be quite frank. So anything they're trying to do, I agree. I mean, I'm delighted if they go to Wembley. Although, if they go to Wembley, do they get to have the full capacity? Or do they have to keep to the same capacity of what we'd normally have at the Emirates?
What was the Tottenham situation?
I haven't got a clue.
I think it was full capacity, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay. So obviously they didn't fill out. But yeah, no, I'm all for if they can make it. I mean, I don't know how long it takes and all the ins and outs, and there's a few people going, "Oh, it won't happen," but they're obviously looking to do something. So I'm all for it, mate, because we need a bigger stadium because we feel this one all the time, and it's a nightmare to get a ticket. So yeah, anything they can do, I'm all for it. I mean, Wembley will be a bit of a pain, and obviously a team's going there, will give them a lift and that. But if we've just won the quadruple this year, I can live with a pinch. It's all right.
What's your thoughts on that, Andy?
Yeah, I pretty much agree, to be honest. Looking at our stadium now, our neighbours down the road have got like a super stadium. There's more of them being built now, and we don't want to be left behind.
No.
So if it means we go to a 70,000 stadium, which would be one of the second biggest, is it, in the Premier League, if they go to that?
Yeah.
It's what needs to happen. If we want to march with these big clubs and march alongside them, win trophies, then expanding the ground, it goes without saying, doesn't it? There's no secret to the fact that once Tottenham's ground was done, then you've got Real Madrid are getting their stadium done, they've had theirs done. Barcelona, we need to be brought in line with everybody else and be above and be that. It'll make us an even bigger attraction as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I totally agree. I think people need to realise, this ain't just about the here and now, is it? It's about the next 30, 40 years. Do you know what I mean? At the time, building a 60,000 stadium was obviously the right thing to do. But when you look back at it, obviously we haven't really had that much money until the last couple of seasons, obviously from building that stadium. But there's two sides of it in there. When we're not performing, actually, there was empty seats. Pretty much at the back end of last season, people saying, well, if we can't fit out when we're not performing, why put another 10,000 seats in? But I don't agree with that argument, because I think that's a bit of a pessimistic argument. I think you need to focus on the positives and what the squad is at this time. Do you know what I mean? And look, the whole reason, I feel that we never went to the next stage of Arsene Wenger was because we moved into this stadium. But if we'd interchanged, if we not moved out of hybrid at the time and interchanged that invincible squad and been able to keep that squad, but then introduced the players that were coming in and been able to keep it like we see 2006 to 2008, then we would have had like that super squad at that point. but we never did because actually we was having to make money on themselves to keep the stadium going, to keep the club going. Where now, I don't feel that's the case whatsoever. Yeah, short-term pain with us going to Wembley, but I actually think we've got the squad for it now. Do you know what I mean? I think if there's ever a time that you want to go into Wembley for a season, if you had to do it, it'd be over the next few years because actually you've got the squad there to adapt. And I think this squad could play on any pitch, to be fair, and go and beat a team. No, no one wants to go to Wembley. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go to Wembley and play at Wembley for a season or two, but you've got to do that for the long-term game. And another 10,000 seats, 70,000 puts the club into an even more stronger position. And like Andy said, like would be the biggest capacity in London, which as a club, I feel we're the best club in London. Obviously, Chelsea fans might disagree with that, but hey ho, you was only born about 20 years ago.
Ooh,
Go on, son.
shots
Go
fired.
Well, you know, Roman needs money. No, I'm only joking. Obviously, Chelsea have obviously been around for a while, but pardon?
No, you're not.
Nah, not really. I'm not really. But the way I look at it, I feel that we're the biggest club in London, and we need to maintain that. And you've ever got to revolve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just stand still. If you stand still, that's when things fall to pieces. Do you know what I mean? And I feel that we did that as a club, especially during the back end of Wenger's reign. We pretty much stood still, and we didn't progress whatsoever. We fell backwards, and we got to keep thinking forwards. Don't sit there and go, oh well, if we don't perform, we might have not the stadium might only have 50,000 fans. Don't think like that. Think positive. Think ahead. Do you know what I mean? Think what's going to make us better long term. And we don't just want to be the best club in England. We want to be the best club in Europe. We want to be the best club in the world. Do you know what I mean? We're not that far off. That's the best thing about it at the moment. Like we took on the best club side last year and beat them 5-1 over aggregate. But the problem was we didn't have a squad. If we had a squad and we'd gone into that PSG game now, I think we'd have beat them. We'd have won the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? So we're not far off, but we've got to keep moving forwards. We've got to keep pushing. And if it means you put an extra 10, 15,000 seats in the stadium to do that, then I'm happy with that whatsoever. And it gives more fans the opportunity to watch a super side play football. And it puts a lot more voice into a ground. What I don't want, is it to be full of prawn sandwich brigade people, you know what I mean? Where they start going, do you know what I mean? I want it to be true Arsenal fans in that stadium, belting out the atmosphere as loud as can make it.
Yeah, it's testament to Mikel Arteta. You know, the whole thing revolves around him. For him to come into the club in the state it was, but then clear out the deadwood, which we've been asking for God knows how many years, laid the foundations, and now you're looking at season on season, we're kind of progressing. And for the powers that be, they must sit upstairs. They must look at the big picture, looking at the squad that's been created. The age of that squad is going to be there for quite a few years. So if we can add to it and get it better, we've got a hell of a chance of winning competitions on a regular basis. So therefore, we will look to expand the stadium. You're in a massive positive position now to go and ask for money and ask for yourself to be developed. And we need to. We need to be not only the biggest club in London. We need to be the top club in the country, the one that everyone fears every week. We need a couple of stars on our chest. You know, it's wrong that I'm looking at Bayern Munich's kit the other day and got 5 stars across the top of their badge. We should be aspiring for that. That's what we should be aspiring to try to get to. And if it means taking that stadium up 10,000, expanding that, what a phenomenal selling point it's going to be for us. And we need to believe in ourselves. There's nothing wrong with going, do you know what? We think we're the biggest, so we're going to build a bigger stadium. Why not? Why not?
You got to think big, ain't you? You got to think big. You got to think long term.
Yeah.
So absolutely. That's a good question. That was good question. Got some other questions. Catherine, they're going to go to you this one. John, do you see Havertz coming back and dropping to the midfield with Eze on the left, or do you see Havertz as just a striker now?
I don't know. Well, he can play in a variety of positions. He could even play on the wing every now and then. I mean, he could play up front with Gyökeres. He's a very versatile player. He could play in anything. I think his striker is probably his best position. But he's a very intelligent player. You know, he can easily play behind the striker. He's very good with his through balls and that. I'll be happy with. He could play anywhere.
I think coming from me, I don't mind if you don't mind me just getting involved in this one a little bit. I think Kai Havertz for me is such a good option to have within this squad. I think we're realising now like what a great player he was up front and the kind of job he was doing. Look, he doesn't score enough goals at times, and we know that he misses a substantial amount of sitters that he should score. But I see an interesting stat the other day that actually, from when he was playing in midfield to when he was playing up front, his shots target ratio rose by 25%. So he has something like 25% from midfield to shots on target, and when he went up front, he went up to 50%. In my opinion, he's competition for Gorkarez for that striker's position. But saying that, I think in later in games, right, if you're chasing a goal or chasing a win, I'd love to see Havertz and Gorkarez up there because I think they would absolutely bully teams.
Problems, yeah, they would. Yeah.
And look, it might be sometimes when you go to those horrible away games, isn't it, Andy? Like them winter nights, you'll know all about them.
We have one now. Yeah.
There's no further north than you, really, to be fair. But you know what it's like in them certain kind of games, and like you're playing against like tough centre backs. If you could kind of whack Havertz right up there with Gorkarez, couldn't you?
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, what is he? 6'4"?
Yeah.
You know, it's an absolute giant. In fact, if you look at our squad in general, with barring a few, we're pretty much land of the giants. So that's why set pieces are our thing at the moment. But I can only see Havertz mainly being a competition for Gyökeres. The beauty with Havertz is that he can drop into various positions if Mikel Arteta fancies it, whereas Gyökeres is just your number 9. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think predominantly it's that position that he's going to be vying for. But Gyökeres isn't going to play every game this season. He can't continue running like he's doing at the moment. He's going to need to rest himself. And when you think about that now, we're in a position now where we can rest our striker and bring Havertz in. It's like that's squads that dreams are made of.
And you've got Marino as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Another curveball you can chuck in. Yeah, yeah. Totally.
Chuck all 3 of them up.
Well, I think you kind of see that in Newcastle, didn't you, John? Like Marino come on and he went up there, kind of. As we see the Declan Rice assist for Marino. I was watching back that Leicester game as well. That was pretty much the same, mate. Late in that game, Declan Rice to Marino.
He scored some great goals for Marino.
Yeah, yes.
You could potentially steal 3 of them.
Yeah, well, it may well be in the Champions League in the later stages. Yeah, why not whack them on? Yeah, they'll of course have it. They will.
Do you know it's going to be a massive season for Arteta when you think of it? You know, because he's now got this unbelievable squad. But as you mentioned before, Liam, everybody wants to play.
Yeah.
So trying to keep
them happy.
You're not just keeping like average kind of players happy. You're now keeping world-class players happy that aren't getting the game. You know, Marino starts nearly all the time for Spain. He doesn't for us. You've got to try and, you know, so you kind of got that balancing act of how you deal with these people that aren't playing because the big personalities, the big game players. But by the same token, that as a manager is the situation that you dream of when you've got so many quality players in your squad. It's going to be, it could be a big season for Arteta to kind of manage these big personalities through it as well.
Definitely. I think like you said, I think what Arteta's really good at now, and this ain't even just from players nowadays, like players that have gone past. Like I just think players like Lacazette, you know what I mean? That's kind of said it. He seems to do really, really well, Arteta, in keeping players happy, don't he?
Unbelievable.
And it's like even players, right, that don't get into the starting lineup. That actually, since I would say Aubameyang left, actually, you don't hear a bad word from players that leave the club, really, do you? Either they kind of accept it, and that's down to, for me, that's down to his man management. Because do you know what? Like you said, it's not easy to keep professional players that are playing for like the top end of their national team happy, but he seems to have an incredible knack of obviously being able to rotate that and keep him happy. And I think he does so much behind the scenes that we don't even know about. Like we got to see a snippet of it, didn't we, in the Amazon Prime? But I think he does so much more behind the scenes that we don't know about, which is the reason why these players actually like playing for him.
Yeah. And all they ever talk about when you see these players interviewed is the family. you know, when players sign, you hear Mikel Arteta saying "Welcome to the family." It's a situation that has been created by Arteta and his staff, and not only creating the right atmosphere, but actually taking the club step by step in the right direction as well. And this is almost the season now when it needs to explode. You know, this is the one where he has to get some form of lift off, because he's been backed completely, and yeah, it's going to be a big test for him. But I can see nothing but amazing things from Arteta. I love the guy.
Yeah,
I think the players know we're on the cusp as well. I think we're so close. We've been so close in the last few years. I think the players know it's coming. Everyone's so excited to be part of it. Be interesting to see what happens with Lewis Skelly, I will say. I know Tuchel's been saying a few little things, and and so I mean, he's only just broke through. I mean, bless him, but he ain't going to get a look in this season. Let's be honest, and I can't see that changing this season, because I think Calafiori's too good, and that's, you know, he's a wonderful player. Lewis Skelly could be wonderful. I mean, he was brilliant last year, but yeah, I just wonder how many minutes he's actually going to get.
Well, the thing is, Calafiori, he has picked up injuries, hasn't he? So,
yes, he has, yes.
I mean, fingers crossed he'll just go on a run of games now, and just, you know, he's just beautiful chaos when he plays, Calafiori. The guy's class, man.
Superb.
You know, for a left back to pop up with the goals that he does, like important goals.
But yeah, he gets forward, he just causes chaos.
He creates overloads.
There,
you see him sometimes. He's on the right wing creating an overload in a little triangle where players, and you're like, where the hell's he gone? Just goes on adventures, I think. Just packs his bag and fucks off over the other side of the pitch. That's it. But like I say, it's a beautiful chaos. But you do feel for Lewis Skelly, because such a talent there. I think he thinks he's a centre midfielder, but when you look at the centre midfielders we have, I'm just not so sure he is. You know, I think covering left back is probably going to be his route into the side, to be honest.
I don't see where he plays either.
No, but that, again, John, that's just the beauty of the squad that's been built.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the Waneri one, before I go into Barwick's question, I think the Waneri one's an interesting one, because I've been quite impressed what I've seen from Waneri when he comes on at the Emirates. I thought he had two really good games against Leeds and Nottingham Forest, and I think if he can kind of keep that up and doing them roles, and do you know what I mean? He's getting minutes and he's going to play games. He is going to play games. Let's not get around that, because actually the squad's going to be needed to be rotated. I think he might get some decent Champions League action against certain well, but he'll definitely play in the Carabao Cup against Brighton, and I think he will come on in games. I think that we forget with Waneri, he is only just
still
turned
so
18
young.
years
Yeah,
old.
it's crazy.
He is just turned 18.
Same with Lewis Skelly.
They don't need to be playing every minute. And let's be honest, and this is a brutally honest one here. If they do play every minute, we ain't winning the title. And that's me being brutal, because actually you'll see games where the naivety comes in, where Skelly will lose the ball in centre midfield, do you know what I mean? And there'll be a goal from it. Or the sending off. Look, the one at Wolves is an absolute joke. But at the end of the day, let these guys learn from the very best. They're in an elite squad. They're going to be competing against elite players every day. They're only going to get better, and their time will come. Their time will absolutely come, because they're that good. And if it didn't come at Arsenal, they're going to make an incredible career wherever they went. But fingers crossed they do stay at Arsenal. But we don't need to play them every minute again. We don't need them to be playing every minute. But actually, when they do come in, the expectation is you need to perform.
Yeah, without doubt.
Or you won't be losing your place. You'll be losing your place on the bench. And that's the reality, because actually, when you start thinking that Kai Havertz has got to come back, Odegaard's got to come back, Jesus, which we'll go on to in a sec, is still in the squad. Actually, there's a lot of players still to come back in Cape. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many. The squad's so big that actually you're not just going to lose your place in the squad. You're going to lose it off the bench as well. And no player wants to be sitting in them stands, peering down, do they? Watching it. So actually, it's good for them. I think it's good for them. I think it's good for Max Dowman. I think for Max Dowman, I think whatever he picks up in terms of minutes this year is an added bonus for him. He will pick up minutes because he's so confident in his ability, and he's so impactful. But you know what? let him pick up the minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Do you know what I mean? If he's on the bench and we're 3-0 up, let him play the Carabao Cup games. Let him play them games, and it'll come good. But I've never seen so many decent youngsters come out of the Howe End as what they're producing now. And these are top quality youngsters. Like, yeah, we had the individual ones, the Jack Wilshires, the Ashley Coles of this world. Do you know what I mean? But we've never had three come out like this.
No,
it's almost freaky, isn't it? You don't see many academies, especially at the level that we're at. You often see maybe one will get chucked in or whatever, but to think that we've got 3 phenomenal players who, let's be honest, they'd probably play for 75% of the Premier League teams. They'd start for them. So it's a joy to have them in there, and I love watching them play because they play without fear. You know, they're always positive in what they do. Lewis Skelly's the one that sometimes takes risks in the wrong places. That's just a young kid's mentality. But you don't want to coach that confidence out of him. It's about coaching the understanding of the game into him, and when not to do things like that. But yeah, these kids are special, man, and we're so lucky.
Question from Barwick, the gunner. I'm going to try and take this one on first, and obviously I'm going to pass it over. Do you see Jesus playing part as what he's asking is as an impact player this year? Maybe off the bench. I think I said in the previous show, like, I've got this little maybe a little crush, to be honest, that I want to see Jesus and Eze on that left hand side. I still think, if we don't do any business in January, which could massively possibly be with the squad we got, actually Jesus coming back could be a useful addition over the second half of the season, and I think he's an option. If Trossard's playing out of the left at the moment, I don't see no reason why Jesus can't play out the left. I'm going to go over to you on that one, Andy.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal option for us. I love Jesus, gutted with the injuries that he's had, but I truly believe that he can come on and be an unbelievable impact player, even more so than the other two. He's got that ability to, as far as dribbling, I haven't seen many better dribblers in the Premier League than him. In one-on-one situations, tight situations, he can get himself out of it. It's just his bloody finishing that you just want to give him a shake sometimes, because he has got the lot. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back, though, from the second injury as well. But if he can come back and even for the last part of the season and just offer us that opportunity to fetch him off a bench and stuff, it could turn out to be, it could almost be like a new January signing. Because let's be honest, January is always we always hope and pray we're going to be bringing players in, but it very rarely happens. It's a waste of time, the January one. It's crap. You should just do away with it. But it's going to be it's a good one for the club. That.
I think it's a top option to have, to be honest. Like, he ain't going to cost you nothing in a day. You know what you're going to get with him. And I think he's got a fantastic attitude as well. Just injuries, sadly, have harboured him, and that's going to be the big piece that I'll have to see when he gets back into training. How is he competing in training? If he's competing at the top level with these top players, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be in that squad. And he's the kind of guy, I'm going to put it out there, he's the kind of guy for me that actually there'll be a big moment, and I'll guarantee you he'll be involved in it. I'm gonna put it out there. If he got back fit, I could see him having that big moment. And why not? Do you know?
He deserves it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Do you know what I mean? I think he's got the capability to. And look, the guy was scoring goals before he got injured. He finally got back to his. I'm not saying he's best, but I'm saying he was getting back to that level, and he was scoring goals as well. I think he scored like 5 in 6 or 5 in 7.
Yeah, he did. He was hit. Yeah.
It's not only that, Liam. He's a pest. Yeah. For defenders, he closes people down quickly. So even the defensive side of his game is superb. He fits the bill great for us, and bringing
he got the best out of Martinelli as well, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Remember that goal he put on the plate for Trossard against Bayern Munich. Things like that. Just bits of class like that can sometimes just get you over the line in them tough games, like you say. So I can't see him being a starter. I think that's very difficult for him now, but I think he could potentially end up being a phenomenal impact player for us. Yeah, I'd wholeheartedly get him used if he's fit.
Question from Andrew. Going to go and shoot on this one, John. Who is the most underrated player in the squad? He's saying it's Havertz. Who are you going for?
Ooh.
Underrated.
I would say Calafiori, actually, because I think everyone bangs on about how good the goalkeeper is, how brilliant our centre halves are, how world class Timber is. But I think only people are only starting to notice now, because he's had a run of games and not had any injuries, how good he is. And I would probably say him, because Rice is he's really come on. Odegaard, Eze, Saka. Yeah, I would probably say Calafiori. I think so. I think he's excellent. And yeah, I don't think he gets credit. And if he carries on staying fully fit, yeah, I think it'd be an incredible season.
And a question for you, Andy. Do you think Gabriel Hines is starting to have an influence on our defenders, making him stronger as the season goes on?
Yeah, I've got absolutely no doubt. I mean, we only see snippets, don't we, of training, but the relationship he appears to have with the players is just phenomenal. Just brings an energy to training, to match days. He's out on the pitch. They've showed stuff actually in pre-match stuff, and he's out on the pitch with the four at the back. And he was a great defender himself. Only let's be honest, he was a bit of a lunatic, but he was a great defender himself. So it can be nothing but positive, and especially because Mikel really, really wanted him in there as well. So yeah, I think it's a massive, great find for us.
What's your thoughts, John, on the starter and finisher that Arteta started using terminology? Jeff saying that he believes that our MLS's squad role is now finisher, which is a good question, debate question, I'd say.
Yeah.
What does he mean? What he just finishes the games, he don't start them?
Yeah, well, Arteta's come out and said he's got
an impact player.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I think at the moment that probably is his role, unless anyone gets injured. Yeah, I mean, he was so lucky to play so many games last year because of the big injury crisis. They didn't expect to use Waneri and Lewis Skelly at all, really, but they didn't have any choice at the end of the day, and they come in and done so well, which surprised everybody, I believe. But yeah, he'll get some Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games, Champions League if we've already qualified. He'll get some starts there. But yeah, I think he's definitely a backup.
Oh, one for all three of us now. Can you give us your genuine and unbiased top 6 prediction? And
I can't. I can't say it's going to be unbiased. It's going to be biased.
Want me to crack on with that first of all?
Yeah, go on then.
I'm going to go for Arsenal to win the league because I think they've got the strongest squad. I'm going to go for Liverpool to finish second, Man City to finish third, Chelsea to finish fourth. And I think this is where it gets quite interesting, 5th and 6th, isn't it? Sorry, my phone keeps kind of bleeping off. 5th and 6th. Oh, God, do you know what? Let me just check this league table.
I think Newcastle will come into
yeah, I think they will be a striker, won't they? I think he's going to score them quite a lot of goals. I think he's a nuisance, mate. I think a lot of teams are going to struggle against him.
He's a big pest.
He's just scored tonight. He
scored
for Germany.
Yeah, are they still winning?
The one, it's finished. Germany won 1-0 and Wales lost. Was it? Wales lost 4-2.
That's a shame.
Get in.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for 6th. I'm going to go for 6th place. Do you know what? I'm going to throw one out there. I'm going to go Palace. Finish 6th. I'm going to go out there. As long as they keep their players fit, I think they've got a good chance. I think
they need to sign some as well.
Yeah. But there's some good teams there. Actually, sorry, I won't go, but I'm going to go Spurs. I'm going to go Spurs 6th. I think Spurs will finish 6th. I think Thomas Frank's actually done a really good job there. I think they could even finish 5th. Actually, do you know what? As much as it hates it sad, I'll go Spurs 5th, Newcastle 6th.
Yeah, it won't be a million miles off that, to be honest.
Nah.
Do you think Bournemouth will sustain it?
No, sadly.
And actually, old Gav's gone exactly the same as me. There you go. Oh, no, he hasn't. He's gone for Liverpool first. You know that.
Arsenal third, you absolute dickhead.
He's nibbling, isn't he? He's nibbling.
Who's that, Gav? Who's he? Has he been drinking?
Yeah, no, he's probably wearing his Arsenal shirt as we talk as it goes.
Oh, no.
Champions League. you know what? I'm still not sure that we'll do it this year. I'm gonna go Barcelona.
What? Who to win the Champions League?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Barcelona this year.
We're better than them.
Oh, I think we are better than that, but something would always be thrown in our way. I'm trying to have a little bit of unbiased.
Until this season, come on, be positive. It's our season.
I hope we can do it. I hope we can do it. I think it's going to be a tough ask to win both the Premier League and Champions League, though. But the squad's there.
Yeah. Bayern are strong this season.
Yeah, they're a good side. They'll be good. PSG, they got a good result at Barcelona, didn't they? The other day as well.
Yeah, and they're missing Dembele and a few others. Yeah, they're good. They're great side.
Look, Liverpool are going to come on strong again at the back end of the second half. Look, they're not going to keep playing the way they are. I mean, they have to get better, so they'll be in the mix of it all for the Champions. I think it's really hard to call the Champions League. I think it's really hard because like we see last year, if we sat on this show,
you just don't know.
In October, no one would have predicted Paris Saint-Germain to win Champions League in October,
or Inter Milan to get to the final.
No.
Yeah. No.
So there you go. There's our messages there. There's one more.
Good questions, these.
Yeah, they're picking our wits tonight. If you had the choice to pick any club anywhere to lend our youth players to build minutes and install attacking football, what one would you pick? For me, Ajax produces the great footballing players.
Yeah, certainly has done. Yeah.
Town, so they can help out Jack Wilshere.
Yeah. Does it want about a team in England, or is it a team across?
I think it's whoever you think, mate. To be fair.
Is it? Yeah.
Someone like Bournemouth or Palace.
Yeah, I think,
area, for example.
I think when you look at the managers, you're right, John. I think you want young kids to go and learn and experience other clubs, but Glasner, he comes across really well. So seeing another quality manager work as well.
Bournemouth manager is brilliant as well. Iriola, I think he's done a great job at Bournemouth. Really
unbelievable. Yeah.
One that I've kind of said in the past that obviously if Arteta didn't achieve anything, would Glasner be a good fit? Certainly won a trophy last year. Be hard to sit and say no, wouldn't it?
Just personally, I think right now I'd probably say no. I want an experienced manager that's actually won the Champions League, won their leagues.
You just don't know what it'd be like at a massive club.
Luis Enrique, then, yeah.
Go and get Ancelotti. Just someone who wins. Is just a serial winner. And really high profile. Hey?
Yeah, Luis Enrique all day long.
Enrique,
too old. Ancelotti's too old now. He should retire. Amazing manager, but he's had his time. Yeah.
Could be Prize Alonso from Madrid.
Well, we don't know how well he's going to do there, to be fair.
He's struggling, yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully we don't need to do nothing, so we're going to win the double this year that you're telling me, Andy, so we'll be really happy. And
we are winning the double.
No, the double? No, we're not doing that. We're not going half measure. We're winning the
quadruple.
Even better, mate. Even better. You sing it, I'll dance it, mate. I'll be dancing it all the way in London, mate, in May.
Jack Wilshere gets some, mate. He takes Luton up to the Premier League, mate, in 2 years.
What's your thought? What question for me? What's your kind of thoughts on the Jack Wilshere move? Obviously, it's an interesting one, isn't it? For me, this could be a make or break for him. This one.
It's great for him. Only 33. It's such a young age as a manager. I mean, I'm delighted for him because obviously he was at Norwich last season. He was a number 2. The number 1 got sacked. He took over for the last couple of games. They turned him down for the job. They got another manager in, and they're doing terrible. So that's good. Yeah, good luck to him. I mean, Luton, they're in a bit of a mess. Obviously, like 16 months ago, they were in the Premier League.
Yeah. We scored an injury time goal to beat them.
We did. But, the fact is, they're in League One. I mean, even my dad's team, Plymouth Argyle, beat them away from home with 10 men, which says how bad Luton are at the moment. So, it's going to be a tough job for him. Again, he's going to have the media spotlight on him, ex-Arsenal, so, haters going to hate. And he's going to play good football. I think he's been brought up the Arsene Wenger way. I think his team's but in League One, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I think when I think of Luton, I think of Luton back in the day with Ricky Hill and all them players playing. They've always had a history of playing good football as well at Luton. Quite often they were the ones who brought in that horrible plastic pitch. But that's
right.
Through the years, that's what they've been known for. And it's one of those with them going there. Is it a good time to go there because they're a club on the down? And can he stop that momentum and take
Yeah,
it back,
the
or
only
is
way
it one of
out,
those that they're on the down and it's going to take some stopping, and you don't want it on your CV, your first job, go to Luton and get sacked after 6 months. Do you know what I mean? So it's, I really hope he goes there and does well.
They've got to give him
Yeah,
time.
I think that he's brought in Chris Powell as his assistant. That's a good shout. An experienced guy.
Yeah,
That's a great move.
Played at
Excellent.
all levels,
Yeah.
and he always seems to appear with alongside some good managers. So he's obviously quite well regarded.
Well.
Yeah.
Just having a little look.
That's a good point there from Jeff, by the way.
Interesting stat that is, isn't it? Interesting stat.
Talking of stats, I heard one today. Was it Arteta is now something ridiculous, like the 7th longest serving Premier League manager in Premier League history. It's just ridiculous. He's been there, what, 6 years or something. But it's ridiculous how he's like rocketed up the list.
Yeah, that's football for you.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get some little nibbles again. Just come back from the future, guys.
Oh no, he's back again.
I was asked to quit City, and I'll sit in talks to replace him. Keep dreaming, mate. Keep dreaming. See you on November the 29th, mate.
I think Gav's on the wacky backy.
Here's another good fun stat for you, Gav. Here's another one. Can you tell me the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal? 22nd of the 8th, 2021.
Is Gav a Chelsea fan?
What's that?
Is Gav a Chelsea fan, is he?
That's got to hurt, mate. 22nd of the 8th, 2021. You've had some pain, mate, over the last 4 years. Some big old pain.
But they're champions of the world now. Oh, I see something.
Not fiction as well, mate. Facts, not fiction.
Chelsea shirt with champions of the world 24-25 on the back. But you sad bastard. I say.
Quite a good one for Jason. Jack's win a Litwood's Cup. As long as it ain't us again.
That'd be good.
Was you in the club at that point, Andrew? You was, weren't you?
Littlewood's Cup.
Yeah.
When Luton beat us.
Yeah.
You know what? I was in the Princess Grace Hospital. I'd just been recovering from an operation.
That's why we didn't win.
Here's a one for you then. So
it's your fault then.
I've got a little story for you, John. So I watched that final when I was in the Princess Grace Hospital, and I watched the final with Chris Waddle because it was his operation. He was on the operation table before me, and so I went into his. And we met each other in the corridor, just walking up and down where I were trying to get ourselves moving. And he's from the same neck of the woods as me, so we got on pretty well. And then he said, "Oh, are you going to watch the match with us?" So I went in his room to watch the match, and Terry Venables came in.
Yeah, wow.
So I sat and watched Luton beat Arsenal. They thought it was really funny.
I can imagine.
With Waddle and Terry Venables. So there you go. There's a little story for you.
That's a great story,
wow.
mate. Get that one on
great story. Yeah, go on. Yeah,
get in.
Story that you got that's a big exclusive for tonight. Massive exclusive.
Here you go.
Oh, honestly, I am full of shit.
Still blame Nigel Winterburn for that day.
Yeah.
He missed a penalty, didn't he? Yeah. Andy Dibble, wasn't it? Andy Dibble.
Oh, mate. What a bad day that was.
I was only 7.
Seven.
Yeah.
7? You've had some paper around.
Yeah.
7.
All downhill.
Shuri saying it's time Effin starts consistent minutes. Odegaard out now. I don't think Eze alone can handle the block of fixtures we have coming. Also, since Gallcrest is struggling, can we try Martinelli up top? Any thoughts on Martinelli up top?
No, absolutely not.
He don't need to do that.
In his best position over there is the left side, and he can't do it for 90 minutes. Yes, he's pacey. You can maybe fetch him on last 20 minutes and stick him up top, but I certainly wouldn't start him there. He would just get bullied. Can you imagine Martinelli up against Van Dijk or up against the Newcastle centre-backs?
7 games.
Get eaten alive.
A chance.
No, absolutely not.
If he's not scored many goals at Chris Farm, why would talk then? But come on.
Gallcrest didn't score tonight. That's 180 minutes under Sweden. Sadly,
did they lose?
I don't know what the score was.
They were 1-0 down to Kosovo, but they're shit. Sweden are like bottom of the group, which is ridiculous. You see this firepower, but they've completely fallen apart. So
you say that the news will be that Gyökeres didn't score, but did Isak play?
No, he was. They were both up front.
Isak was up front, yeah. So
that was funny. In the game the other night, they were playing Switzerland. They were 0-0, and Isak broke through and crossed it for the Spurs boys. It
Bergvall.
and he missed what he just he completely missed an open goal, basically. And that was a 0-0.
I can't see how that works though. Isak and Gorkrez up front together. Like, I don't know how that works anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like
It's just they're two best.
trying
They've
to
got
shoehorn both players into the team, isn't they?
Yeah,
it's like Gerrard, Scholes, and Lampard, wasn't it?
It is.
Trying to shoehorn in the team.
That's
exactly what it is. Yeah.
ADK 12K saying, which position would you want Arsenal to strengthen? Should we be involved in the January window? I think left wing's the only position
left
for me.
wing, definitely.
Definitely left wing. Yeah. Bring in Leao from Milan.
He's very hit and miss for me, I have to say.
I don't really know much about this, but Gav has asked a question, so I'd ask, have you seen it? Can I get your take on
No, what's that then? No.
I don't know anything about that.
What's happened to Radcliffe then? He's still there? Or is it,
Gav's a bit of a wind-up mind, isn't he?
Unless he's on about that. I'm not sure really with Man United what the hell's going on. Do you know what I mean? I don't think their fans even know, but I just think that they've got to go through this rough patch, and it might be 2-3 years they have to go through this. But
they've still got about 8-9 players that are shocking.
Yeah,
they've got to do what we've done. They have to suffer. They have to suffer
gradually
bad
get
to
the players
better.
in. Yeah.
They need someone to go and get rid of all their deadwood, because we could probably all sit and go, well, he's clearly, we know he's not good enough. He's not good enough. So they need to do what we did. They need to start from the bottom, go through some pain, and slowly turn it around.
Hopefully they're going for a lot of pain.
That said, I love the fact that they're in demise. It's class.
It's
long
beautiful. Long may it continue. Yeah.
Oh, it says that Man U were meeting some United Arab Emirates-based consortium who were very serious about buying in the club.
Really, but Radcliffe's only just taken over though. What?
I know, yeah.
I'm not really bought this Radcliffe guy anyway.
No, I don't think he wants to be there. You have to look at him and don't look at me.
Would you want to be there at the moment?
No.
I don't think. Honestly, I don't think he's realised the magnitude of the job that's required at United. Definitely they need to knock that stadium down and start again, because it does look. It looks great on the drone shots over the top and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is the ground's falling apart.
I was something the other day. Someone found a mouse or something running around. It's unbelievable. It's a worry.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
yeah.
He put it in his glass.
Yeah, that's right.
One we did speak about earlier on. I think you must have missed that one. We spoke about the Bournemouth lad potentially. I think that'd be more a summer thing though, won't it?
That's a good call, actually.
Fofana, he's obviously up and coming, isn't he? Very good.
Yeah, good player.
But yeah, definitely the position that needs to be covered. Whether it's January or whether it's next summer, only time will tell. And I think it all depends what happens with Jesus as well, whether he comes back in the squad or whether they do kind of send him out. Because let's be honest, if he does get sent out, it's only going to be a loan as well, and then potentially that might open up a gap. But left wing for me is the signing that will kind of make this squad very much complete in terms of having cover everywhere.
Yeah, the lad from Frankfurt, top quality as well.
How old is he? Is he young?
Yeah.
Definitely, this is a good thing now, isn't it? I think we've got to ourselves to a situation now that in the next, especially over the next few summers, that actually we can really be kind of selective in terms of who we want in the club. Now, do you know what I mean? And I think we've got we should have such a good appeal, and we obviously have, because of the players we've brought in over the last 2 to 3 seasons. Like your likes of Declan Rice, do you know what I mean? Your Eze's, your Gorkrez's, do you know what I mean? That actually, hopefully, we can start looking at these top end players that are coming through, like the very top end. Do you know what I mean? And they like at least two of these names would fit that bill, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's another one of them as well, where it's great being linked with all of these players, but we only want a certain type of personality in our club, and I think that's where the due diligence comes in from Arteta's side when they're going to get these players, because sometimes we've been linked with some top players and it hasn't quite come to pass, and I think a lot of it's down to how much that player wants to play for Arsenal, and I think Arteta can see that in them. And he'll only bring in players that he knows will just fit into that system. So no big egos, none of that. It's just someone who can just slot in as part of the family.
Yeah, it will be interesting. See how that kind of revolves over especially January and into next summer. But hopefully that will be a position that will be occupied and sorted. And I think in the summer next year, I think you'll definitely see probably Trossard depart the club and Jesus, I would have thought, which would open up that door definitely for someone to come in. Obviously, we're getting into the back end of the show. Just one more question I'm going to do tonight. Catherine, do you think Arteta should or would change formation? What do you think would be best fit for the squad? I think, or does the current one fit? I think it currently fits at the moment. I just think that actually we just need a number of games, don't we? I'll be honest, I can't wait to get rid of the November international break. And then we got like a 3-4 month period where the squad can just be together and then just grow together. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite happy. Like we're sitting top of the league. And that's without beating Liverpool, Man City. So we've obviously got them 2 games out of the way already. We've also got Man United away and Newcastle out of the way already. I'm quite happy with the formation. I don't think it needs to change. I don't know about you, chaps.
No, I think the formation's fine at the moment.
I agree,
and I think the best thing about our formation, I think this is what Arteta's, this is where this brilliance comes in, is it's such a fluid formation, because in the middle of games, we might start with 4 at the back, and then you'll notice it'll drop into 5 for a spell. Or sometimes we'll have 2 just sitting in midfield, but then we'll drop it into a 3 or a 4. And then it's fluid. It depends on what the opposition are doing as well. It's such a clever system that he's got in place. So it's not like the old days when I used to play for Pat Rice and it was 4-4-2 and that was it. You know, you had your position and that was what you did. But now it's so fluid. You get players. Look at Calafiori. Briganella, the guy ends up on the right wing sometimes. It's such a fluid system we have. So it's at the moment it's a winning formula for us. And I think when you listen to other teams and other players who played against us, they all say how hard it is to play against Arsenal, because the players are continually on the move all the time, and it's such a fluid system.
I think we can all agree that it's probably my saddest day, Champions League final.
My saddest day? Oh.
Yeah. The one game I can't watch back.
When my daughter was born. She sat right in front of me.
Good answer. Good answer. I love that one, mate.
What's my saddest day as an Arsenal fan? When George Graham told me I wasn't good enough.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I thought you might say that, to be fair.
Yeah. I was a bit devoted.
Yeah, I bet.
How long do you reckon it took you to get over it?
I'm not sure it ever did.
No?
No, I'm not sure it ever did, no. I think it's one of those where you can hear these stories about how people can take that on the chin and kick on and think, right, I'm gonna show you. It just knocked me so much, because all I wanted to do was play for Arsenal. It was just ever since I was a kid and first went down there, it's all I wanted. So then to be told you're not good enough it's a tough pill to swallow, that one. And I was devastated. And even though I went to Scarborough and had a great time, it kind of just hangs over your head all the time. So yeah, I'd say that first, and then the Champions League final second.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll definitely say Champions League final. Do you know one of the most underrated ones for me? I don't know why, but I got so angry this night. So angry. It was when we went up to Liverpool in the Champions League and Walcott took on the whole team. And then I always remember. Right, I was at an ex-girlfriend's house at the time, right, and I ran downstairs watching it. I thought, I can't watch the last 5 minutes upstairs. I can't watch this with no one around me. I literally got upstairs, turned the telly on, and Steven Gerrard was stepping up to take a penalty. Mate, honestly, it's one of the most underrated games ever. Like, in terms of, I was so upset after that game, because it was another one where actually I thought, if we win here, we could do it.
Go on and do it, yeah.
The Birmingham City Cup
final.
final.
I was just angry at that one, mate. No, I'm not even upset. I was just angry, mate. That was just that was typical Arsenal at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Chesney and Koscielny?
Yeah. Koscielny smashing each other and Obafemi Martin.
Love this one from Gav. You like that one? Mine sounded times every time we play Arsenal. Barwick saying, has it gone up? It hasn't gone up.
Here it comes.
Mate, you wore the shirt. You did more than most and have great memories.
Yeah, that's true, mate. Yeah, thank you for that. But the best memories ever. But it still hurts like hell. I can even remember sitting in the room with George that time. It never goes away.
This is an interesting one. Sure, he's saying at least you guys, as old as seen league titles, as younger fans, we are clutching at straws at times. I think that's a good point, isn't it, Andy? At times that actually you can see why the younger fans are so kind of desperate for the here and now to get this out to taste that success, especially when they're probably having to listen to rival fans for the last 5, 10, 15 years. Do you know what I mean? And let's be honest, we've been a bit of a figure of fun at the best of times.
Yeah. We have, yeah. I'm going to take. I'm not happy with Shuri's message. Actually, it says at least you guys, as older fans, cheeky sod. I'm a young pup.
Ain't far wrong, no, mate.
I'm a young pup, for Christ's sake. Yeah, you know, old man.
I would say mature.
Okay.
I would say more mature fans.
Sexy and mature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just missed the sexy bit out. That's all. Oh.
Yeah.
Nah, to be honest, the 4-1 at City. The title was over before that. Like the Southampton game for me, the 3-3 draw.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something about that game. I was in the stadium that day, right? And there was an aura when we got it back to 3-3. Right? So it was like the 88th and 90th minute we scored the 2 goals.
That's right. Yeah.
Then there was 8 minutes of injury time. And there was this aura like that. I think the ground would have exploded if the 4th went in. And I was adamant.
Trossard at the bar, didn't he? Right at the end.
But I've never been in the stadium like it, right? Not even like I was in there for the Nelson moment, which was unbelievable. And this was in the same season. But literally, the whole of the dugout was literally ready to celebrate. It was like everyone was ready to celebrate. There was just an aura in there that night. But coming out of that game was awful. And the game, the title was over after Southampton. Like the Man City game, Rob Holding at centre back, we was never going to go down and win. So for me, the Man City game didn't bother me that much because it was already over in my eyes at that point.
Yeah.
That Villa home game every year.
I was at that game.
Yeah, so was I.
I was at the game. I was at the game with my son.
We win that, we won the league. It's just that's the one.
That was
last few years. That's the one.
We were bloody brilliant first half against them, but we couldn't score.
Trossard. Anywhere else, but to go.
Yeah.
And we win
that's our most humiliating game I think ever. The 8-2.
Yeah, it's awful.
Absolutely humiliating that was.
Yeah. 6-0 away at Chelsea. That was bad, and all.
To be fair, every Man United hit that day. They had so many wowzers that day, and they all went in. They all went in. It was one of them games where every shot they hit went in. Good evening to Mr. Bennett. He's in here himself. Good to see you on, mate. Big point here. Not only Heinz is benefiting the defence, but Gulchrist will be too in training. Strength and hold up he brings is a great test.
That's
a good point, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on, Ben.
It was interesting, wasn't it? Because I think Mascaro was talking about Gulchrist, weren't he? As well, in I think the other day, saying like actually how good it is to be playing up against these kind of players in obviously training. And it's an interesting one, isn't it, when you go back to Martin Keown when he talks about training with the Invincibles. Like actually everyone went in there probably hated each other each day, didn't they? I bet you they all hated each other each day.
They wanted to win.
I know Thierry Henry and Lauren always had a few eye to eye, didn't they?
Or Bergkamp, he knew how to put a foot in as well.
Yeah, just going back to what you said there, Liam, and you bang on as well. Like, if you imagine being Mascara now and he's in training every day, vying for that centre-back spot, and every day he's watching in training two of the best centre-backs in world football. I mean, it just must be unbelievable, and he'd be rotating with them in the training sessions, and, you know, to be plucked out of Valencia at this young age, and all of a sudden you're chucked into this squad that we've just brought in together. He must be pinching himself at times.
Yeah. Oh mate, I say like a lot of these players, they must sit there and think, you know what, they've actually, some of these players have actually arrived at Arsenal right at the right time for their careers as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you look at Mascara and you think, well, look, what's he 20, 21, something like that?
Yeah.
You've joined a club that actually look at the backbone, look at the structure, look at the midfield you got in front of you now. Like all you got to do is slot in and show your ability, and he's got ability, but in the abundance. Like he will be a very good player for us, and one that actually don't like to think of the day, but when the day like actually Saliba potentially does leave us, which hopefully won't be for a while yet, we got someone who could literally slot right in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hopefully we won't see that for a while. Is it?
Sherry's made a good point there, in 2010. But ultimately, there was humiliation for me as well in the Welly, my local pub. It's harder to walk in your local pub and try and have your head held high while everyone's pissing themselves laughing at you, which is what happened then. So we've all been through it, mate.
Yeah, it's not like sometimes I say you've got to go through the worst times to enjoy the best times. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to suffer. You have to.
And we will, like, I'll be honest, we was quite fortunate. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I started supporting like Arsenal in the mid-'80s, but obviously we had the George Graham, then we had Arsene Wenger, so there was always success, wasn't there? There was always kind of trophies. But I think from 2004, 5, from the Invincibles, or 3-4, sorry. I know we won the odd FA Cup, but even that was an 8-year gap, wasn't it? It's been very, very tough. Do you know what I mean? It's been very tough. And I think if there's ever a club that needs to go and win it this year and get it over the line, it's Arsenal Football Club. And I think everyone would agree with that. Everyone who wants to see Arsenal do well would agree that actually we need to get over the line this year. There's no excuses this year not to get over the line with the squad we've had. And we've just got to be stand up and be counted now. Do you know what I mean? As a man. Every man needs to stand up and be counted.
Yeah, totally. And do you know what? I think when they have the little meetings with the coaches and stuff, and then we're looking at all these different things that we need to do to try and get through this season, but we've also got phenomenal momentum now. So can we take it into next season as well? Why can't we do a City and go and win a few in a row? That'll really put the cat among the pigeons and put you massively on the sheep for world football. All of a sudden, we're the team that's winning everything. Why can't we have one of them spells? We've never had that. So I think we're on the cusp of it. It's about whether we can tip it over the line now.
I was nearly crying at Wembley when we went 2-0 down. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, against Hull.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, I had tears in my eyes. I had tears in my eyes after 8 minutes. Like after the Birmingham situation, and then going 2-0 down. I remember Kieran Gibbs cleared one off the line after about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I'd always owe my gratitude that day to Santi Cazorla. Like, if he hadn't scored that free kick, mate, I don't think we come back.
A free kick as well, yeah.
Like, absolute bit of magic. Like, what a free kick that was as well. But it was a great day, and a great day in the end. And I'll tell you another little funny story. I had a lot of messages that got deleted. that people actually sent them and deleted them.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to have to call it a day, guys. Thank you very much for your questions. Obviously, I have really enjoyed tonight, to be fair.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, it's been good.
Really good. Something totally different. Some tremendous questions. But before we go, we always have to do the score prediction for the weekend. So I'm going to go with you first, Brooksy. Fulham Arsenal, what are you going for, mate?
2-0 Arsenal. I'll be boring. But yeah.
Who's scoring? You can't just do score.
Gyökeres is getting both. Setting everyone up.
Oh, get in.
Yeah, I do.
Andy?
I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. I know that's what you were going to say, Liam, which is why I said it. And I'm going to go Gyökeres 2, and I think Saka's going to notch again.
Well, I'm actually at the game Saturday.
How'd you get tickets for that?
Don't worry about me, mate. I'm there. I'm there Saturday, mate.
Dodgy smuggle.
I'll send you some pictures Saturday. And I'm going to be on the boat before that as well, so hopefully I will be at the game Saturday.
Hope the weather's nice.
You have the best day.
Yeah, as long as I don't come off a boat, because that'd be typical smugger kind of behaviour.
Yeah, probably wouldn't
be
the best
Thames of his
idea.
parrot.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go.
What are you saying?
I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I'm gonna have to go 3-0 like you, Andy. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I think Gyökeres will score. And I think actually this is a perfect game for him. And I think away from home might suit him better, like we see at Newcastle. Yeah. I'm confident we'll win Saturday. And I'm confident that we'll put on a good show as well.
When's the Liverpool game?
Sunday, 4:30.
So can you imagine finishing the game Saturday with 3 points in the bag, and they've got Man United.
Yep, exactly. But the pressure on them, see how they go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just do some score predictions before we finish. Barwick saying 2-1. Jeff Dane saying 2-0. Mr. Bennett is saying 2-1. Tough game, never easy to go there.
No, very true.
Shuri saying 2-1. Saka and Eze will come back from 1-0 down.
Nice
Catherine's going for 4-1. Going for Gyökeres 2, Saka and Eze.
ESR for the late. That's a good shout, Catherine.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, that's a good shout, Jason. That's a good shout. I'll get a cigar there Saturday. There'll definitely be a cigar. 100%. I'll have a cigar.
Oh, great. We'll watch you getting turfed out the ground.
Ben knows me too well. I'll end up in the Thames. And Jason Sam 3-0. And Gav was going to ruin the party, weren't he? He's gone for a 1-0, and Andrew's gone for a 2-1.
Andrew's gone for the tighter one.
He's gone for the tighter one, and AD's gone for a 3-1 as well. But yeah, this hopefully 3 massive points to the Arsenal and retain the top spot going into a week that we have Atletico Madrid and Crystal Palace at home, which are going to be absolute mammoth games, isn't they?
Yeah. You watch us go and get beat 1-0.
Oh, don't.
Johnny Brooks is there, mate, and I've got to share a train journey home with him. He's got to share a train journey home with me as well. So
what a treat, yeah. A depressing affair.
There's been enough them times, isn't there, John?
Oh, there has, yeah. God, yeah.
I think the worst one was Aston Villa. We was at that game as well, Andy.
Yeah. Dear me, on
depressing McDonald's on the Victoria back.
I saw one of them Sky. I think it was one of the fixture things. It just had for that second half of the season. It was just win, and that loss in the middle of it all. Yeah,
unbelievable. We got a credible draw at Man City, and it's that one loss in it that cost us.
I agree with Ben there. Ben just said, "Just bloody win." Yeah, you're back.
Well, yeah, that is the
message. Any win will do. Exactly, a dodgy 1-0 all day long.
That is definitely the thing. Right, guys. Obviously, thank you very much for coming on again tonight. Absolutely,
always a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Always. Apologies. Obviously, thank you to the chat. That's been an absolutely incredible night in the chat. We'll definitely look at continue to do that. Moving forwards, and we felt that tonight's been actually a really successful night because obviously we discussed it between us over the weekend. We went with it, and it's been a massive success. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So let's move on to Saturday. Hopefully 3 points at the Cottage, and hopefully Smuggo don't drown. Good night.